Well, the recording is in progress and we are starting with our meditation. So welcome in the living room. And so great that you joined, that you're here, and that you decided to meditate first and then maybe listen to a video or an audio of Joel. This is the Kailua study group, and this is also part of the 40 days awakening intensive, awaken to the light within. So that's the meditation, you could say, but everyone's welcome to stay, of course. So today we have the video, the audio, 110B, No Power it's called, and it's very interesting. So we're going to have a little introduction before the tape starts, and then say around the whole hour we start listening to it a little bit earlier. But first we meditate, become completely quiet, just letting everyone in. They still want to come in. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So and this is the time to leave the world for a moment, leave the world for what it is, and say breathe and relax, stepping back out of your activity of mind as you use it in your daily life maybe, but you don't need that now. You don't have to be concerned with anything. You can let go of all of that. And in fact, there's an invitation to release your whole humanhood, all your ideas. Release it for just a moment. You can pick it up later if you want to, but for now it's like release as much as you can of this incredible thing that's going on, that's identifying with what isn't. So you might as well let go of that for half an hour or an hour. That's great, or longer. But the release of self-identity is one of the major things in the awakening process. It's like, if that falls away, then peace can come, then you experience light, then this, then that. It's like that is a necessity to in order to experience peace, you will have to release your identity. And so that takes practice. That's why we're here. So we do this to experience peace, to be reminded of what is true about us, but also the place where to find it. And that place where to find it is, we're going within. We're going to let go of ideas, let go of our concerns, let go of everything that appears to be in the way of our experience of silence, of stillness, of truth, light and love. So that's what we're practicing. So I made a little sheet for it that I'm going to share with you, and I will read that, and then I'll repeat it every 4 or 5 minutes. That's a bit of the format. So these words are literally speaking for themselves, and that's why I love to share them with you. So this is coming from the the realization of oneness. I love that book too, as a way to say, let meditation or let prayer come to you. And I found this in there too. And it's from the part of the book, Living the Higher Consciousness. So here we go. I am the Son of God. I am an heir of God, a joined heir. The word I makes me so. I will never leave me, nor forsake me. I, the Christ, will be with me to the end of the world. I am spiritual consciousness. I am immortal. I was never born, and I will never die. I live and move and have my being in God, and God in me, for we are one. So like I said, release whatever you can. This is true, the truth about you, but you cannot experience it unless you release your identity, release all the ideas that you have with yourself, and in fact come with holy empty hands. So I am the Son of God. I'm an heir of God, a joint heir. The word I makes me so. I will never leave me nor forsake me. I, the Christ, will be with me to the end of the world. I am spiritual consciousness. I am immortal. I was never born and I will never die. I live and move and have my being in God, and God in me. For we are one. I am the Son of God. I am an heir of God, a joint heir. The word I makes it so. I will never leave me, nor forsake me. I, the Christ, will be with me to the end of the world. I am spiritual consciousness. I am immortal. I was never born, and I will never die. I live and move and have my being in God, and God in me, for we are one. I am the Son of God. I am an heir of God, a joint heir. The word I makes it so. I will never leave me, nor forsake me. I, the Christ, will be with me to the end of the world. I am spiritual consciousness. I am immortal. I was never born and I will never die. I live and move and have my being in God, and God in me, for we are one. I am the Son of God. I am an heir of God, a joint heir. The word I makes it so. I will never leave me, nor forsake me. I, the Christ, will be with me to the end of the world. I am spiritual consciousness. I am immortal. I was never born, and I will never die. I live and move and have my being in God, and God in me, for we are one. I am the Son of God. I am an heir of God, a joint heir. The word I makes it so. I will never leave me, nor forsake me. I, the Christ, will be with me to the end of the world. I am spiritual consciousness. I am immortal. I was never born and I will never die. I live and move and have my being in God, and God in me, for we are one. Thank you so much for meditating, being in this stillness with me. And I hope the music didn't shake you up too much, but it's like meditation is not sleeping, it's right here, being present. And one way or another, it fitted so well. So thank you for letting that happen. And so the next part of this moment together is then the, say, preparation for listening to the tape. And the tape we're going to listen to is the 110 No Power, 110B No Power. It's the title. And that's interesting because the other day we had the talk of Joel, one power. So what is that? Is there a power? Is there no power? How am I supposed to look at that? So looking at that in different, say, realms, in fact, first, to get a feel for it. And so starting in the, say, the physical realm, the idea of power is always connected to something that opposes something else, that is more powerful than, like always a comparison or a competition between powers. And that is like, yeah, compare it to yourself standing in front of a horse. Like I'm personally really love horses, but when I have to stop them in order for them not to walk, they have a bit, yeah, they have more power than I could possibly come up with. So it's like you feel the power of the force of the horse, and so that's in the physical realm. It's like that. So in the mental realm, if you look at it like that, it's like the mental realm. It is, I can have very strong ideas and I try to convey them to you, and I want you to accept them. So if many of us, say, believe what I'm saying or what I'm sharing, or say using that for my own power, so to speak, then this power I use to convince others. So now the next level then is like the spiritual power. What is the matter with spiritual power? And this is exactly the place where Joel starts to share. It's in the last part of the tape. He starts to share that, in fact, and brings it into demonstration, in fact. And that is so lovely, because we just had this meditation in which you see is like you receive that by, in fact, dropping your defenses, by releasing your identity, by allowing it to be like it is. It is not an opposing power. God is not an opposing power. Like your true nature is not an opposing power against something, because it is really based on an idea of oneness. So how could possibly there be an opponent, so to speak? How is that possible? There could be an opponent. That's impossible. So what is this idea of power then? So this is great, because to clear that out of the way, it is, in fact, see, we use words to describe something, and that's the same with whether I've used it in the physical realm, the mental realm, or the spiritual realm. If I'm trying to use words to explain all this, then I miss it completely. In the physical realm it still works, in the mental too, but in the spiritual realm, based on, say, the recognition of our oneness, words don't actually make sense at all. So we're still using them, because we are coming from words, a word-dominated thinking, or a word-dominated identity. Even though it's not our real identity, we still have to deal with it, and recognizing which part is what. So when I shared before the meditation, I shared the idea of releasing your self-identity, releasing the ideas that you hold about yourself, then I'm not asking you to make a sacrifice or that you lose anything. It is more like, now what is, just like we said in the meditation. I am, like, that can never go anywhere, because that's what I am. So that means also, when I release all the ideas that I hold about myself, what will manifest itself in my consciousness is what is. And that is what power is. Like, you can also say, like, it's no power, it's power. Like, words don't really make sense at that point anymore, because being in this recognition of oneness, what could possibly oppose? So you can say, like, God is total power. It is what power is. And so another line that comes in when I share this is this then: all power is given unto me on earth and in heaven. This is so lovely if you hear what it says. Like, all power is given unto me on earth as it is in heaven. It's like, that's exactly that. So it's not a power that I use in the sense of trying to use it to oppose. No, it is something that I allow to be in my consciousness, and then it's present. And it is present everywhere I go, whether on earth, whether in heaven, whether, all does not matter anymore, because it has nothing to do with my ideas about it. And that is what, say, allows me to experience the innocence that is connected to it, and the beauty. And the certainty, not to forget, like, it's the certainty that you carry with you. All power is given unto me in heaven and on earth. It's like, there's nothing that opposes that. There can be no idea that holds with this. It's like it all melts. Even your idea about yourself will melt into the heart of God. Like, That is what the nature of that is. And that is so lovely. Like, it's so lovely to even imagine it. But to feel it is everything. It's like there's no opposition. You allow that to be. You allow wholeness to be whole, and God to be God, and you to be a whole part of that. So this, in fact, is like a way of describing your transformative process, or your awakening process, if you want. It's like it's awakening from the idea that you don't, say, need opposing powers to live, or to survive, or to become healthy, or to do this or that. You know, you can come up with examples for sure. So then it is, how is that going for you? How is that going for you? Are you allowing this moment to be whole and perfect? And are you allowing yourself to be as you are? Like, why not? What is opposing that? We just shared, and this is, of course, you hear it and you start to learn it, that it is so, but then you have to accept it too. And then you have to demonstrate it in your everyday, every moment. You start to, say, see that it in fact does not have an opposite. It does not have an exception, in other words. So that's the beauty of this. And Joel gets to that in the end of the tape. And that's also the part that we're going to listen to. But this was essential to recognize it, because when you take this with you in the talk, so to speak, these words, and then the whole talk becomes different, because it's like that is what you start to recognize. That is what is given in this moment. This is an opportunity not to hear the words of Joel. No, this is an opportunity to come in touch with your true nature and melt all the opposites that you encounter, all the conflict that you experience, and all the say insanity that you have accepted about yourself. You allow that to melt into the heart of God. That is your opportunity here. So that's what I love about the tape. So then the no power doesn't really matter anymore. It's like, if it's all one, then words that will not describe any of that anyway. So that's great. I love that. So I hope you're ready to listen to it. So we will have a break of probably 5 minutes or so, and then we come back to listen to the tape of Joel 110b. And in the meantime, I will play some music, and see you then.